Actually, not 1 point, see what I got. I'm like, they either deserve it or you yeah. Don't get used to it. You know, my normal tone of voice is this loud. Yeah. So if I get excited, then I get loud.
All right, here you go. This is our Clayton Public School regular board meeting in the Health Center, Monday, August 18th, 2025 at 7 p.m. So is our call to order and welcome. First item is adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda? Yeah, we're adding donations to the agenda, which I'll pass around for everybody to see.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda
As amended. This is got to be in there, right?
that's for the consent agenda, right?
Yeah, we got to get listed in there. I think it was, it's not listed in there right now.
Yeah, so when we approve the consent agenda, I'll add it. Right?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Sounds good. You made a motion. There's a second. Kevin second. Any discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Community comment. At each community comment session, we allow no more than 3 minutes per speaker, no more than 15 minutes per subject topic. We do have a new process for community comment with our online form, and we did not receive any tonight. I don't see any here at the meeting. So if there is none, we will move forward to our final consent agenda items. All right, we've got approval of regular board minutes, approval of bills and payments, contracts, which there are none, no resignations, but we will have the donations list for the final list for fiscal year 25.
I think what we're going to do moving forward is when we get the donations for the next board meeting, we're going to put it on the consent. Acknowledge it as soon as possible.
Okay. Did read that list. I wanted to be out, but I'm sure it's changed from the final version. So
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda with the addition of the contract for long-term sub seller and the donation list of the fiscal year 2025.
okay. Nancy's made a motion. Is there a second? Okay. Second, any discussion about any of those consent agenda items? Go ahead.
Question on the treasury report. So looking at the month of July, there was $660,000 more that went out than the general fund. I see there's like 210 board bills, but I would have any idea what the big outflow is, or just that wasn't covered by something on the initial side. Any idea off the top of your head? I'm just curious. Kind of looking at that.
It might be somebody else.
That's why I was wondering what it was.
Okay. Any other discussion on consent agenda items? Okay, if there's not, we can vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, 5.1 presentations. Any scheduled for tonight? 5.2 is, I'm sorry, 6.1 is the board statement on the 504 complaint. Just go there. Just going to review at this point. In one of the prior meetings, there was some questions raised about the district and policies and procedures around 504 plans. So the administration, in conjunction with the board, took it upon themselves to make sure that with that we deal with it and run through the process. So remediating that and learning what we can. And so we have a statement here as to kind of currently addressing that and just a follow up so that the community understands, what we've done with that. So this reads, recently concerns were raised regarding district's handling of a student's section 504 plan and whether proper procedures were followed under federal law. These concerns were taken seriously and led to a formal mediation process between the family and the district. We are pleased to share that through this process, both parties have reached a mutually agreeable resolution. The mediation allowed for open and respectful dialogue, and the resulting agreement reflects a shared commitment to the student's success and well-being. While the district maintains that it acted in good faith and with the student's best interest at heart, we also recognize the importance of listening, learning, and continually improving our processes. We want to assure our community that the district is committed to upholding all laws and regulations related to Section 504 and the rights of students with disabilities. Steps are already being taken to strengthen training and internal practices to ensure that every student receives the support they are entitled to under the law. We appreciate the patience, understanding, and partnership of all involved. Our focus remains, as always, on serving students and families with integrity, transparency, and care. Suggestions, questions? Okay. All right, we can continue. 6.2, operating levy update, just a discussion item. Do we need to, I think, one step take tonight was set some dates around presentations and upcoming informational sessions and get some of that information decided on and out. Any comments from you, Justin?
When I talked to Susie Peterson of ISG, she talked about the idea of more meetings, having meetings more than what we did last year, as she talked about. She did not recommend that. She thought that 3, at most 4, was sufficient. She didn't message out. And more than that, you're probably not going to be expert anybody coming in, especially when the last time we ever had a meeting about 12. So she did suggest doing it on different days. I think last time we did it on Wednesday night. And potentially, if you can work one day on your during the afternoon lunch hour, or people that don't like to out after their meals are difficult and around. So. She also sent the back schedule for information on how, whether it's through social media, and events here to go work out people. Let me know that.
Quick comments. So much of the process will be similar to last time when we did the vote. Right, the question looks identical as to the last time. Right, we did our community survey, which was pretty overwhelmingly respondents from that survey, like 70 to 80%. Said they wanted to track same question. They have more information now, hopefully, or as we go through this process, to be able to make a decision or attend the meetings and ask different questions if they have them. But it will look very similar to last year's ballot question. Yep. There are questions, there are comments. We had quite a bit of discussion last meeting about, put a lot of effort into the budget and, what the future looks like, positive, and or if we have to make hard decisions, and we're trying to communicate those things. I think there are just meetings, and other meetings with the community. I think we're on a pretty good track for getting information out.
That's just determining what updates we want to do, what times we want to touch on different locations. Did you ask about the doing it out at, the thing you said, Congress one, did you ask about? I did, she said the issue with that is probably only people showing up or people that are out in that area. Is center point is possibly. She said you could, as you're going to be, you can go out there if you really want to. She doesn't think that would draw, you know, enough people to want.
Just for less formal meetings, right, meetings to kind of discuss our presentations from the district on, you know, facts that we have around why we're doing what we're doing. Opportunities to have informal meetings, but communities in smaller settings, maybe that's the way we can approach that one.
Or is that a thing to do? I don't know if you would want to record the actual meeting, but if there's such a thing, you know, say we have the first meeting, from, you know, do that, hopefully let the people show up. Then when they leave, record the meeting and just run through it with our content. That way we can share that content in one of our many ways it's hearing based. Is that something that's maybe she would invite on, or maybe something to ask her if that's a good idea or not?
I know. That's a good idea. I think that's to kind of do a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Last whole round too. And I think last time around I did the presentation on that slide, put it out there on the website, so I can most certainly do that. I thought maybe one of the meetings, whether it's September or October board meeting, we hold that meeting beforehand, so hopefully it's recorded and it's part of the board, and that's to be draw some people in the board.
I don't have to officially put some dates on the calendar right now.
Yeah, so then I can get those to Sue, so she can have them made and such.
Okay. Yeah, suggestion of first one of the
That's the day of our September 4th.
or at the hot yeah,
Junior high football is away, but it's 4:30, so maybe about 7 probably. 4:30, Randolph. So it's kind of close, just an hour or so. They get done by 6:15.
About an hour's drive from Boston.
I can see if they'll move it up, too, potentially, I can push forward.
it was local meetings do that, but I mean, I can't make every single one. I mean, I can make that one on the 15th too.
I can do the 15. I can't do the 1/3. I think that was another day you have there. Yeah, I can't bring that one.
The days that are out there, I just kind of looked on the calendar and what was happening, all our events. Most that Tuesday, September 23rd, there was nothing on calendar. Be for Tuesday. Also, we don't need to be both. We need to be one. Always a good idea to go board days.
Just start at 6 or
It's whatever you want, but
or you think starting at Saturday.
I think start at 7.
Okay.
The board meeting and then 14.
You with that?
Take a little note on the agenda.
Only, and then you're doing 1 of the 2 days. I just looked, the Mankato Gala is on the 23rd, and I don't know, there's a lot of people, but a day to avoid it. Just, I just looked up if anything was going on, but
That goes a lot of people.
it's, I know it might only be 20, 30, but it's enough, so.
Do that, do the 23rd, one of the 15th. Yep, not the 23rd. And October 15th or 16th as the new one or midday one. Like over the day, we'll get out at 5. Or ones in built. On Thursday after. They keep it. Board member copy.
15th is home football, so
Yes.
there's no work on that, it's not till 7, so.
I'm also out of town, both those days. Do we want to bring the board there or? Is something that's like. Nice to have. Yeah.
It's important, I think, to me to have at least one person there.
Right.
Not a couple.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't know if you want to make a majority there. That's a time where a lot of other people are working, but I think in the afternoon that maybe some of the retired folks in the community get here and have to try that thing. Or still have to get here and get. If we don't.
Together, most of the kids are gone at that point in time, they are right by the building,
Right.
or they're in school, they.
Yeah.
Our space be tough.
We probably have to shut down this and utilize this space. Which you're looking at classrooms on both sides of the area. Something happens. You just stop it. And Thursday works for anybody that maybe. Thursday.
I'll be around.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
You kind of want to mention the one meeting earlier and simply tell the end of what the election is another date before October 15th.
I think it's more like September 15th, well, at least, we're trying. And I think the more people get their message out to, sooner. They, maybe they would speak positively if they're in a group of people. Stand on their own at the football game, or they're standing on a barbecue or whatever. The more positive stares we got, that have been educated, the better off. I think we got one of the 15 at least for making that effort.
But I feel like, yeah, 27th is probably close for the.
Anything to do Saturday or Sunday.
On the last day.
And she said, could you do forward if you want to? If you want to, so we're definitely very distracted. Please don't watch over for I don't know. Yes, they use one of the calls at that time too.
So, yeah. I think it's a good time. I still think, yeah, I think it's still good to have one close by if people are still looking for information and want to actually talk to somebody, give them a chance to maybe have a call about it or have heard about it. The prior meeting, they can come and ask the school, make sure they got their information straight.
Yeah, sooner.
Yeah.
I don't mind that later meeting. I think I have a big deal.
So, assuming that we'll keep from again. Sections on I are Tuesday the 28th. I believe believe the finals are Thursday the 30th. Then, did I see that right? Yeah. You can Monday, Wednesday. Football, I think, would be probably Friday. Maybe we do it, maybe even like at 6 instead of 7. Yeah. Yeah. So that parents will get it done. Yeah, or 8 or whatever.
And then we'll back October 16th. At noon. Then we got 3 people on the board that have commitments that we still have to do with MEA and an opportunity to get out of here. Is there such a thing, maybe we don't do that 16th, then we pick Saturday, do it 10 o'clock on a Saturday, that way we can get the crowd that doesn't want to come at night, and the crowd that's working during the week, rather than do that noon on 16th, that's a good chance to make people on.
Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Yeah. Maybe calls or whatever. You know, we're just out there. That happened.
Everybody, yeah, you do it every Friday.
Yeah, I like that idea.
That's a completely different, on weekdays night.
Yeah, they're going with their kids. Yeah, you got a few days. Yeah,
You'll get many chances to string together for no school days.
but like Monster's idea too, maybe some like a snack, a roll or a scone or whatever, something like that, a coffee. Yeah, just a goodwill effort like that. I think that's a great idea. Well, for any Saturday,
Volleyball on the 11th, varsity tournament, volleyball, 4th, 7th, and 8th grade tournament, and then obviously the 18th is Saturday. So you could do it the 27th of September. It'll happen down at I don't see, nothing on the 27th of September. Home football game night for too, so it will be down and not having to drive an hour afterwards.
You know, workers here, so. Yeah. It's not one. Right.
imagine elementary football, there's, yeah.
Eighth grade, whatever, so sixth grade, but
This is more for, I mean, I'm more for retired or family that works.
Right. There's crap in there, you said that was 4, was the same problem, so. Yes, you're hitting the same audience, if you're doing one at the end of October, you just said to,
Yeah.
so.
The 20th is what we're saying. 20th or
27.
No, we would scrap the 16th of October, that was then the 8th.
Yeah. On the 27th. So that's September 15th at 7, September 27th at 10 a.m. and October 27th at 16.
We hear you about 2 o'clock and I think it's better. Is that too much? The students and they
Got clock from 2 o'clock. Something going
Yeah.
Because their days too far on here.
2 o'clock or maybe that are doing elementary years.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, like a Sunday. I was thinking Sunday, like early evening, like Sunday at 5 p.m. Like, between those 2 days, like the 12th and the 19th of October.
You want to do 4 or keep it 3?
Vikings do not play on the 12th.
There you go.
No, like legit, you gotta like think about it. I guess there's gonna be people who are gonna say, I'm not gonna go out there. It's the one week they don't play. So
How much, 12th of October?
12th of October is their bye week.
I think it'd be cool to go earlier. I think if you get them in here out of here before summertime.
Like after church time would be like they go from church to here. And you have to make it like that. And once they get home on Sunday, they're home on Sunday.
Possibility of bringing that up, okay, and the church will do some stuff too, so. Pretty cool.
And like it said, we should send our postcard right to, right.
And a lot of people would like that. Yes.
God wants you to vote yes.
You got our size.
See if we're after fourth meeting, we're about doing a, so on the 27th, we're doing a 10 a.m. What about doing a supper Saturday at like 2 a.m. or 2 p.m.?
Again. Or if we just go to the big day like this. We get people in the band on Saturday. At 10 and then 2.
I don't mind the idea of doing 4 because, so they can.
Yeah, I agree that we should do more. I kind of wonder, you know, yeah. Does it just, I kind of like the idea of having different times available, but if people are gonna make it, they should be able to make it at least one of the 4. Yeah, so that's not like
A variety of time. Which are some of the 12 at 2 o'clock. Days for it. Yeah. Good.
So that makes more sense to do it back to back. I mean, for us, a little hard, it makes more sense to do back to back. So we do it on a day. For the people that we're trying to get here, it's probably would make sense to do it on a Saturday.
Class for them for lunch, they're not going to church. I can break my knee.
Not being double advocate, is it worth doing it before I go to the ball game?
I think that'd be good definition with parking.
I think like 50 people here and I'll see if we get like food truck to show off.
we did a lot of, we did before games. The Bohemian Volleyball in junior high, we had people at the table last year, so we kind of hit those that way. So those are other strategies for talking about it. What the next one we do. Right, I said Sunday, October 12th, 2 p.m. I was up for the post.
Recap, we've got September 15th, 7 o'clock before the board meeting. 27th, Saturday at 10 a.m. Monday, October 27th at 6 p.m. October 12th, Saturday at 2 p.m. Or that Sunday. Oh, 4 days. Where is it?
All right. Yes, we can jump to 6.2. Service prices.
Just tentatively, I asked my method to put this together. We still have the final action stuff at the federal level and state level. I reached out to the state. As far as that, I can't send out anything to the federal. So we have to have something. Seems like logical. We should call around and talk to districts and like this is kind of working. Districts are our plan. And basically, it's if you still get the free breakfast, you still get the free lunch for that. So
get that approval date, and if something changes, then we shuffle that.
We're for sure getting the free lunch and breakfast.
It did fill in a webinar today, ratification of the big one bill. And how that's areas in society. Ultimately, by the end of 2028, Minnesota will have lost $1.1 billion of that. You know, that is going to trickle down to every avenue.
These prices will get published in the material ready. Arts and like that on normally.
Like break even, something that but margin there left over for unforeseen things like kitchen appliances and that nature.
Monica really struggled with this. She felt that there's and we had that discussion about, you know, it's not just the food that you're talking about. And I told her today, I said, Monica, I just saw a report that last month, vegetable oil was up 38%. But you also have to have breaks out on what we have to do. So I can't answer that 100%, but she's conscious of it. And it's not something that she took lightly. You know, she tried to make the reasonable about most of the districts.
She needs to. I'll make a motion to approve the 2026 meal prices. Some data questions. Kevin, a second. One more discussion.
Right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carries.
All right, 7.4 is new business.
Yeah, our
Learning
plan.
7.1.
We talked about our last work session, what it looks like, and fairly constant over last year, right? There wasn't maybe really any substantial changes.
Last year, was good plan for the past year. And I think before we pretty much like I think we done one day, right? I heard from staff that went through it all. Students like it because it gives them flexibility. Staff likes it for simpler reasons, you know, they get that all pushed out by a certain time and then you can work on it and then you long to get it done. I still go back to the point of kids still do kids on school. You still have to have that funk and that excitement about not going to school on a day. And it also prepares the older kids for like that. Yeah, they have adjusted to it and fly with college and they become something online job or all the time. I think Scott might be. So I mean, I think it helps them get to that point.
Yeah, some real-world experience a lot of jobs gonna have.
Bring them back in July to the government day. Not actually sound very good.
Yeah, action, so let's go look for motion to approve the either plan.
I'll make a motion to approve Tony.
24, 25, oh, sorry, to be a learning plan. I don't have.
Right, again, motion from Andy. Already second. Any more discussion? Right, thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Two handbook changes for 25-26.
It should be 25, 26. Okay, I'll say 25, 26, but the just this way. It's had to move the change to these two handbook after the session. There's any questions on the adjustments?
That's all in one motion, but that's it. Yeah, we covered these twice, I think, actually, right? Two work sessions. Any highlights you wanted to, Scott or Justin?
Pretty much one tool them. Big changes. Something very attention. Yes.
Your favorite, of course, semester. Sure.
And this will be. Slideshow with all the changes and all of the reminders, and we set out right away that first day. And I'll get to that in a little bit, but tomorrow there's going to be a lot of emails going out. That's included in this element, so we'll see it.
And
Are you, unexplained the 7 and 8 3 thing, 7 and 8 prayers? By your word, present.
You know, just kind of follow our, what's in the handbook, but then we'll open it up for discussion. Then we'll ask question and answer.
But I think one of the key points of emphasis is going to be, there's a lot of classes that build on each other, right? And if you can't do it at this level, there's no way you're going to be able to do it at the next level. And so, you know, part of our thought process there is, let's get it right here before we move on to something harder. And I think that's going to be part of the way we present.
The 25, 26 goals, high school and elementary handbooks.
Sections, any more discussion?
all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carries. 25, 26 activities handbook updates and changes. Discussed this one at the work session a bit. Major highlights, what the discuss with that one.
Scott and I met last week and just made sure that everything between ours clicked and that there was nothing contradictory that people could look at. And then I added in a link on our handbook to the state high school league's website that has every rule and regulation, which will help kind of cover every base so that if anything pops up, I just thought that that's what we were deferring to for a number of different matters. That's just where we should be deferring to. So I just put it in there just so there's another cabinet we can check and
If
stuff.
we did that in the student handbook high school as well, defer to activity.
His handbook is linked straight to our handbook for the activity section. So
So the discrepancy.
there'll be everything his will come out of that.
Did you cover any of this in your fall activities meeting with your?
Yeah. I said I'd update the handbook, so it's online. Once it gets approved, I'll update. I'll put the new one online and put it up there. So, and a lot of the stuff in there is covered, the main things, and then the other stuff is spelled out.
Some of those sports or.
Yeah, I can go on.
Well, that's the, yeah, we will try to do that because they're all both, preschool and a K-6 email and a 7-12.
If you want to send your 7-12, if you want to include mine in your 7-12,
Well, it's special.
that might just be easy.
Yeah, yeah, right. Because it's gonna be, I don't want to pull it out.
It's one point that I want to make sure people understand is with the academic eligibility for quarter period. Sure, if it was enforced in the past, I'm gonna enforce the school. If they have to, they both. With that, because it's the fall, because games are starting, the schools can actually, kids can get into school and work and get grades up. We found them that first week, that first week to go around, their sheets signed off and could come eligible. Right. Next week, they have to do it again. The first grades.
Yeah, the first Friday, so our handbook spelled it out that football players will miss the first game of the year and volleyball players will miss the first 2 games of the year if they're failing the class at the end of the fourth quarter of the school. And then the first Tuesday, I believe, is the 3rd. Is that the right day? The Tuesday, September 3rd. So then that day, they'll have to come to me, get a sheet of paper, and that piece of paper has to be in my hand on Friday. As soon as they miss the amount of games they're eligible. So they just miss, volleyball misses 2 games, football misses 1 game. As soon as they miss their games, they're eligible, but then they're on, it's not worded as academic probation, but it's pretty much making sure that the first day of the week, they get a sheet from me, and the last day of the week, they hand it back to me to be eligible for the next week.
People ask why is football one volleyball is 2 question of number of games. Yeah. Motion to approve the 25-26 activities and changes. Right. Yes, the motion. Seconded. For discussion. Word.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carries. All right, 7.4, renewal of district insurance coverage. Oh, sorry. All coverage list is there. Back there. I talked a little bit about that, Walker.
Yeah, so football, Harrisburg, Woodson will be varsity, head coach, John Atherton will be first assistant, Matt Miller will be second assistant, Larry Lutchka, third assistant, Garrett Dempsey, fourth assistant, and then junior high will be Dave Singh and Doug Schwan as 2 junior high coaches, and then our 3rd junior high coaches will be Ashton Digman, who will be joining us later, so he's prorated. So then, and then volleyball head coach Dave Nixon, first assistant April Thompson, second assistant Madison Logan, and the 2 junior high coaches are Tracy Sanders and Mrs. Wood.
So those then, and I don't remember even having that, but we've never paid for 4 assistant coaches or 4 coaches on varsity before, or 3 for junior high. Yep. We talked about that last year for the same reason. We won. She sent 2 coaches on to the game and 2 are sitting back here. You're down with 1 coach. Especially on the teams, provides all players, another player gets hurt. Now that one coach is having to take care of the new player, or pushing the new player up the side, and then the game. So it's a safety issue. Nice to see you. Coaches filled in. That's the thing. Appreciate all the coaches for athletic, but also stay on this too. Any questions? Just this. Motion to approve. Any motion? Second. Second. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Now we have 7.5. Critical district insurance coverage. Yeah. We will have to get this one, done, so we can hear back from the insurance. They have other questions today. He was hoping to get back before the board meeting, but, he has not received an answer back from the company. So it's- Right. We can jump to item information discussion. Board member reports. There are meeting updates and the end of last February. The goals are going well, other than some of the board walls are back ordered until 8 weeks. And so we do have a secondary plan to see that might be temporary sheet rock until those walls get in. One of our other board members is going to have some connections with self to see what you can do to see if there's any other distributors. But it looks already 100% better than what I did before. And then some rooms paint is being done. It will be nice. We hired a new principal, Tanner. Last name, but it jumped right in and has doing really well. Sertoma gave us $1,000. Sertoma Mankato gave us $1,000 donation to be used for anything that we see fit. The boot camp for SPED and para training is coming up. We are able to make some money selling some services, child psych and OT, I think, to Masika and Truman. So we're trying to, if we have, they have needs and we have people who can give them the time, they pay us, and then we also add a administrative fee of 20% on top of it. So, which helps us. We have 3 new teachers. We just need a couple more pairs. Otherwise, everything is. Get the project done. I have to go back and another walk through. Negotiations. Also so that's a lot clear. We do that anytime we want. I find MSBA and find that you got that. They problems. Contract language that we just talked about. So that we're gonna look at it tomorrow morning. Or factory, so pretty much helps to do that. Or society as well. Otherwise, we could see set up a date.
That's something we want to do there. Workshop days, we want our teachers get the teachers get in school, that we can have
of them really have, insurance.
Place.
Every other to. Yeah. Yeah, understand that. The back of water.
Talking about the tires too again. One to run, one control, but kind of coming out this year. We're still got everything lined up and you know, got to part of the year.
Yep, just a little bit.
Sure, yeah. That's community protection and students that are gonna hit on later. That's something. For positive things about the fall meeting with athletics, so I appreciate what they're doing for that. And that one taken care of. There's a fundraiser last Tuesday for Cleveland Open. I don't know if anybody's got any slide from that information on it. But it seemed like it was a full event and expecting 100 people, I think, or right around 100 people. So, which is pretty good. Fall. And you can't, everybody got to report their store. That's
My golf was looking at the direction.
I'll take responsibility.
Right, so 8.2 principal report.
So I shared it out with that thing. I'm not sure if it's working or not. So I shared it out in your email. So I'll just go through it. Let's talk about the new staff quickly. We have Courtney Tice. She's in first grade. He's the lead himself. Connor Tice. He is a fifth grade teacher. Kayla Wills. She is a speech and language pathologist. That's a big bonus to have that here. And she has children in this. Dale Walker. Ashley Schmidt to be a paraprofessional. We did get Austin Selner hired as a second grade. We offered the third grade, still waiting to get a confirmation on that long-term substitute. Actually, Lisa met with the new teachers today. We'll get up a week there to pass so they don't get so overwhelmed. They can come in. She does a great job with those people. Then I just put the workshops in there. We have three different. We have a high school, we have an elementary, we have a paraprofessional. The high school piece just touch on because they're very similar. So district kickoff, we'll have an all staff meeting. Child protection care defense actually going to come in. There's new statute for that as well as some. I met with the county last weeks ago. What the truancy laws, and we'll do crisis management and the required bloodborne pathogens and so on. The crisis response team will meet again on just go through everything for the year. Then they break out into two different areas. So your high school staff, want to talk about?
Yeah, we just get the staff together. We go through all the different changes in the handbook, all the different things that we're going to focus on. I think it's a good session for us, and I'm going to implement things, and that'll be part of why we're doing this and blah blah blah. So, great opportunity for us to get together as a staff and remind. Well, how we keep striving to be better. And I think
Just talking the one-on-one initiative work.
we've been doing that with the kids having the one-to-one fight. I think I've said to you guys put up all the old traditional stuff. We're going to continue to utilize that. And it's going to be constant for that. Yeah, we can work on it. And a professional. So,
Yes, because every time we die, it's crazy.
this is awesome. I know. You realize this is actually better. It's not harder. It's actually kind of easier and better for the kids. So we're not going to get any more technical this, technical that. People are going to be like, yeah, this is, why did we do this 15 years ago?
In elementary's already talking that. So when we just adopted, it's like, no, we use that as your backbone because it's here for 4 more years. It's been 100,000. But MTSS is another.
Pretty bad. So then we can figure out how we can meet their needs. We're never going to be perfect, but our goal is to catch up before it's TSS.
Yeah.
Order, usually on our full, like, it's all the teachers that grade students, they this and they period. Teachers that are maybe I can pick up. It's kind of how it works.
Through the education, that's what I want. Like part of the awesome of the one. Because they're see kids we're doing, so they're not going back and elementary is pretty much the EIL. For that. Maybe well,
Like you sent me a link to that.
Stairs, that one's